Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, here to share with you our latest issue. This one, all about Mom. Yes, Mother's Day is just around the corner. We're in the home stretch. What a flurry of springtime holidays there are, right one on top of another. As a professional florist, it can be somewhat overwhelming. You've got Easter, then Secretary's Day, then Mother's Day. Throw in prom, and this year the royal wedding. And oh my goodness, it's a flowering frenzy. The inspiration for this video is the royal wedding. I loved it. Did you stay up all night to watch? I know I did. And I just love the thought that Kate chose flowers that had significant meanings, referring back to the language of flowers. So in this video, for Mom, we'll make an arrangement using the language of flowers. All the flowers I chose to work with are in the pinks and purples with just a little tinge of blue. Reason I did that is that pink has a calming effect. It causes the brain to secrete a chemical called norepinephrine, and that makes you think of Mom, apple pie, all the good things, not Mommy dearest. Then I chose flowers that had significant loving meanings from the vocabulary in the Victorian language. I have little mini asters. Asters represent love, much like a rose. And then carnations, they too can be love, but it's a devoted love. The calla, magnificent beauty. The lily, also majesty. And then lilacs, oh, love the lilacs. Oh, so fragrant, and they represent beauty as well. Then some very deep, dark pink roses. And dark pink roses, they imply thanks. And then wax flower in a soft pink, that signifies riches. Hydrangeas, now depending on which record you read, some people say they represent boastfulness, but others, they say they mean thank you for understanding. I thought, how perfect for Mother's Day. Moms understand a lot, and they learn to be there and almost invisible, but paying attention. And as we grow up and we finally understand, we go, thank you so much for understanding. For my container, a beautiful glass bowl, nice and low. So I need to be able to secure the flowers in place. So for my mechanics, I'm just going to use the clear tape and create a grid, taping from one side over to the other, and repeating that several times. This one's a big enough bowl. I'm going to do it 4 times each direction. And then I've got some flowers with pretty heavy stems. So I want to make absolute sure that this won't come undone. So I do one last taping all the way around the perimeter, going over the top of all the strips. And on around, overlapping it, and then giving it a cut. Then mess up the end so that I can find it again later. Go back and remove the messed up end that I started with, and then secure it, making sure it's really bonded down well to the glass. You don't want this to come apart. This is the base that's going to hold all those flowers in place. And once you're sure that's bonded, then go back and add water already mixed with flower food, and you're ready to flower. To begin, use your larger stems and fuller heads. So like the lilacs and the hydrangeas, and start with those. Lilacs are so woody, if you break the stem, will actually do better, exposing more of that bare wood. And then just set it right down into the grid, letting it angle down into the bowl, going back, and adding another, breaking it, setting it down in. And then the hydrangeas, giving it a cut. I go both directions, seems to work even better. And then setting it down into the dish, going back with more hydrangea. And a little more lilac, giving it a fresh cut each time. And dropping it in, angling it so that the stems go down into the dish and the heads just sit across the top. Coming in through the center. Another one out towards the back. And then the hydrangea again. And you can see I've covered the surface with beautiful, full, blousy blooms that will then support all the smaller blossoms. Now the fun begins, just adding in a variety of blossoms to create more interest. Maybe grouping the carnations together. Adding the roses. That one's not a very pretty one. We'll skip it and go to a prettier blossom. There we go. And grouping those as well so that they get full value. And a lily. Brightening this side of the bouquet. Maybe another lily. Adding it in. And the callas. Oh, so gorgeous. And just dropping it down into the grid. And you can see how everything that's already there helps to support the next blossom. And by grouping them, giving it a little more value. Another lily. A few more roses. And then going back, adding in the softer flowers, the asters and the wax flower. You can weave down in. And then as I get everything in place, looking around, checking that I have fullness and symmetry, and that all the flowers just visually balance from one side to the other, and that there's no spots that you go, oh, I wish there was a little something more, because sometimes it's fun to add just that little something more. As I make things for my own mother, I always like to run out to the garden and find just a few special things to add in. Yes, commercial flowers are fabulous, but it's so much fun to add a little personal touch. So today I was able to find just a few things, some forget-me-nots in soft blue, which represent memories, and then some violas and the little purples and yellows, which represents faithfulness. And I thought, oh, how grand, but they're so tiny. And to just tuck them in, they'd get lost, and they wouldn't reach the water, so it just wouldn't work. The best way to do that is to use a water tube. Now that too is still going to be too short to fit down in, so if I take an 18 gauge wire and just add it to the base, twisting it around, and then taping it on using corsage tape, it'll give me a long enough stem just to fit right down in. And I've already filled it with water mixed with flower food. Taping it on down. And then making a judgment call. Is that going to be long enough now? I think it is. It'll be more stable if I bend the end into just a little bit of a U. That way it'll stand in there straight without twisting. Then give the top a cut so it's not going to be too tight. And then adding in the violas, cleaning them up, giving them a cut, sliding it in. And I can put several into the same tube. And then just sliding it right down into the bouquet, finding the perfect little hole. There we go. Nestling it in. Not too low, I want it to show. And then repeat that. Wrapping it around, taping it. Give it a bend with the U so it'll be stable. Cut. And then taking the forget-me-nots, sliding them down in. Got a broken piece there, so clipping him out. And then going back and adding him back in. Sliding them down. And repeating that. Sliding them down in, and then once again just nestling it right into the center of the bouquet. Now we're ready. We just got to get the cooking done for Mother's Day brunch. We've got the perfect centerpiece ready to go. And I know Mom's going to love this. This is going to make her smile. And she'll look at the flowers from the garden and go, oh my goodness, isn't that special? I may have to take a moment and explain the meaning of all the flowers, but won't that be a fun topic of conversation? And then we can all think about the wedding and all of the flowers that were used there. And then think how much fun it is to have flowers in our life each and every day. For more creative inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you have questions or if you're looking for things, don't hesitate to contact us. You can reach us by telephone at 1-800-819-8089, or if email is easier, use my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. And as you create your centerpiece, your flowers for Mom, send me a picture. I always love to see what you do, what creative inspiration you've had to create a way for your mom. For now, I'm off to see my mom and deliver some beautiful flowers. Have fun and do something you love.